Hi guys, so currently I'm at Duke Asidere's place and we're about to ask him some of the most interesting questions that talk. So let's get into the video. Okay, before we get into the video, I think it's important that I give you guys context. There was no grand plan to get into this video. About 2 weeks ago, I was working PR for the Benin Art Gallery and something hit me. There was not a lot of people that are documenting our finest minds, the minds of our old masters. Not that these people haven't been interviewed on the stage and all of that, but in such a raw manner in their studio, in a way that touch on beyond just art, but they're thinking about life in general. This is my studio visit to Duke Asidere. Everybody calls him Uncle Duke. One of the first things I noticed when we go to Uncle Duke's apartment is that he has nothing less than about 15 clocks on his walls. Now, it's not just any other clocks. These are clocks he has scribbled on, he has written on, painted on. And I remember for the first time I visited him also, there were clocks like that in his other studio apartment. And I thought, you know what, this is where the conversation is going to start. So I asked him this.
Okay, what's the idea behind your clocks?
I'm somebody who's always believed in the issue of time. Life is about time, and time is usually not available. We're always going to be running away. Yeah, so you're dealing with people, and then you can also use time as reference. Oh, I met this guy in 2001. Oh, I know him. I've known him since 19.
Which makes me very curious on what you think about expression and style. Do you, as a practice, as much as your style seems familiar, or we can relatively recognize that, okay, that's actually a Duke Asidere. But like, what do you think about expression over time for you yourself as an artist and how people generally practice it?
I've always been a bit skeptical about the word style. I think artists should just grow their works. It's a lot easier to grow your work. If you're talking style now, this this one just came out of working, nothing more. I had acrylic bottles, I had water, and I just started playing with them. So if someone now takes one of these and say, this is his style, it becomes a dangerous thing. But, or somebody says to you, you say to, I say to myself now, I've never done any purely black and white paperwork. And I said, okay, I'm going to do my first black paperwork today. And you run maybe this line. You probably run another line. There are no rules anywhere. So the artist must on his own, make the choice to create. It's like, say you're a photographer and you only want to photograph women, or you have a choice. But if you photograph everything, it's also your choice. The intensity of our studio practice is in the intensity of our choices and our thought system. So it's your thought system that will regulate or control everything you're going to do. Everything.
So that's the answer to the question of a lot of artists that struggle with their style, particularly still finding their footing in the industry, particularly when it comes to expressing multiple styles or techniques. Now, I do not think that this conversation is ended until we talk about industry acceptance. Let's get into it.
I hear a lot of things people say on the side, oh, Nigerian artists are not creative enough. I hear all of that. I'm like, I don't get it. Eh, until I do something stupid that you have accepted. Does that not make me? You have accepted something is stupid, so must I do it? Maybe towards the end of last year. And I painted a few veiled women. And the veils were multiple veils. There was the veil beyond the head. So there's a head point and there's an extra veil. And I thought people would come look and say, man, I wasn't thinking anything special. I was walking and the thoughts came and I applied myself to the thoughts. There's nothing spectacular for the artist. The artist is essentially a messenger, just a messenger. So if you restrict your message, it's okay. People ask, what do you think about artist A? I say every artist should do his work. That's for me. Every artist should do his work, especially when you're dealing with pain. Hell, when you're talking about your mom, I had in my heart, ask him about his mom now. You get it?
Yeah.
So the person who is not listening to those basic instructions can also not listen when he's creating art.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's your ability to listen to that inner valves.
Not what anybody is instructing you
No,
from the
no, no, no,
outside.
no, no. Once they certificate you, once they give you that certificate, if you are, they have given you your freedom. So it's you now telling yourself, this is what I think my practice about. This is how I want to navigate my journey. This is what I think. This is what is the ability to keep thinking and keep. When you say you think, you also have to have the ability to say, I'm not going this direction. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. It is constant choice. Constant choice. There's no absolute knowledge.
Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, AI.
The human brain has always had capacity. So what has happened to us that because of what is available now, we all will have to stretch that possibility that we have. So with AI, it just brought more possibilities to what we are all able to do, either to benefit us. Because we talk about the internet, that people were doing all shades on the internet as we speak now.
Absolutely.
Yes.
At the end of the day, AI is a tool. The same research that would have taken you probably a space of 10 days, 10 months for you to go and research an artist that is in London, his work, or study under so person, observe and everything. AI allows you the access to process all that information
In one unit.
In one unit.
But
faster.
Yeah, faster. But not every information from the internet is correct.
It's correct, but the idea is now how you apply it, because that's where your creativity comes in. So I feel like people fighting the medium is the problem, because they are forgetting that this is a tool.
Well, it's a tool, and you must adapt it. It is us to appreciate the things that are ahead of us, the things that are within our spaces, and also create inside that same space.
There's going to be more around the AI conversation in coming episode, but let's talk about how people use flattery to lure you into doing their bidding. A couple of sales, a couple of exhibitions, it's easy for you to start thinking that you have arrived. You are now having your shoulder up and proud. You need to be very careful who you listen to. Do not let anybody deceive you.
When people are very kind to us, when they use very kind words, when they talk to me, they want to make me feel as if no grill.
No, don't let them find you.
They will put you in trouble and they will be gone. Because when you now think
You have arrived, you are more than the world.
No, when you start thinking, when a cat starts thinking the cat is a lion, that motivation will
end the cat.
Will end the cat, yes.
So what do you think about the concept of freedom? Like, I was having a conversation with somebody recently, and we were talking about the fact that all the good choices have been made for us. Like, you think that you decided to live in Lagos. The reality is that they've created an ecosystem that what will help you get the kind of money you want is confined within Lagos. They decided to not create the train route to go to other places because they needed to keep you here. The big choices have been made for you. You think you are making any choice?
No, you're not. You're not making all the choices. But Nigeria will force you to make certain choices.
Okay.
If you're an artist who is doing well, you'll show up your skills. You're doing well, you rather come to Lagos than stay in Benue and be murdered by the extremists.
Absolutely not.
Makes no sense. So not all choices have been made for us. But we're even in the ecosystem, you can try to work out of the ecosystem.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know an artist who left Lagos, living in Lagos for a whole year.
Yeah. I know artists that literally thrive. They still get opportunities here in Lagos. They stay in Abuja. They stay outside the country.
Yeah. Yeah. I have an artist friend who is in Abuja today. He lives in the US.
So now, still back to the whole concept of choice and freedom. Where do you think the limit is on, or where do you think that? How do you think the access is within and not exterior? The access to your freedom, your choices, the ones that are within your control.
No, the biggest freedoms are within you. Your biggest freedoms. The choice to wake up at 6 a.m. is within you. If you wake up at 6 a.m. and you ask yourself, where am I going? Where am I going?
Just swiping all the way on the internet.
Yes. So, and then waking up is not about motion anymore. You can be awake, you can be in your room. You don't need to go anywhere. You can be awake, have your internet, be in your. You can, especially with COVID. COVID opened up a lot of spaces, a lot of spaces.
Absolutely.
The fact that people couldn't move around, we have not been in that space at any time in our life. So it was first frustrating. Then there are things COVID opened that can
So
never.
adapt.
We have adapted completely.
Yeah, we're in a post-pandemic era. There's so many
So
job dynamic that have changed and possibilities that have opened simply because of COVID.
Take food vending, for instance. It was COVID.
Absolutely.
One end of
delivery,
deliveries, it was
food
COVID,
delivery.
food delivery especially. Then people now opened more spaces for the deliveries. You have the transportation systems.
Yes.
You have
the transportation, the applications,
The applications,
for the food,
you know,
the application for options.
options what to do. So a technology is really big.
Absolutely.
But you still hear about people who are leaving the major cities to go and stay in some remote areas. There are people who don't want to use their phones in the day.
Choice.
Yes. So it's choice. Availability is there, but there can be too much information. If I'm not painting, for instance, and I'm not sleeping, my phone is my next important. But you can always starve yourself from every distraction. The same thing we all deal when we deal with the issue of lack and poverty. Everybody wants to escape poverty. Everybody, nobody wants to stay in poverty. Nobody wants to stay in lack because nobody benefits if you're completely poor. So it's a struggle. And if people say that, well, this country is difficult, it's lie. Country is not difficult. You have to make up your mind. I don't want this. This is what I want. If this is what I want, what do they give to get this? What do I need to give?
Uncle Duke will be talking to you and he'll be painting, and this has always bothered me in some way because I think that his style allows it. His style is so fluid that it can just simply create as the spirit leads. But some of us have to constantly plan the precision of our work, the placement of our work, the pricing of our work. But Uncle Duke has sort of always unconsciously made me realize that I'm overthinking my process, and this conversation actually made it its own.
I was speaking with a friend yesterday. He says to me yesterday that there's nothing about anything. Both the commercial artists will die, the non-commercial will die.
So whether you price, whether you don't commercialize,
You will still die.
the ultimate state is that we all
You
die.
will all die. So but just create it, enjoy it. And he said to me, which is something I like, that your greatest happiness usually will come when you're creating art.
Absolutely.
For the artists.
Absolutely.
Once you're creating something that excites you, that somebody will not give you money on it again, it's double joy. Double excitement.
So I see where the block is when a lot of artists are stuck because we had already put ourselves within that frame of style. That frame of if I do anything outside of this construct, people will not be accepting of me, and art stop being art, and you listening to your intuition, it now becomes just a commercial thing, and without the art.
It's complex, but the take is simple. Why stay stuck when you can move? Why
stay when all of your soul wants to
yes,
move?
why are you the person putting the impediments? Why are you the person stopping yourself? What happened? Why are you telling yourself, well, I can't do it? Who is agreeing with you? And sometimes I say to a lot of artists, so you just need to go out of your space. Going out of space is staying away from the things that limit your thinking.
And there's a lot of it. Everybody think that they're exposed and they're scrolling through the internet, and I'm just saying that all you're just saying is just consuming. You're just absorbing all the information without expressing as freely as it should be.
I tell you what it is. You know, if your search, you can create art, but if your search is just to make money from art, it's a different energy.
Absolutely.
So
And it's still an energy.
yeah, it's a different energy. It's good energy, but now you'll be looking for artists who are making money and replicating their works. But you cannot replicate emotions. I can't feel like you.
Absolutely.
I can't. Sometimes people need a level of pain to make a level of progress. For some persons need a level of excitement. When I'm creating art, I'm the most energetic person in Lagos.
No doubt, no doubt.
But when I'm not creating art, I'm saying to myself, man, because you ask yourself, am I okay?
Am I okay?
Yes.
I can
You
relate
ask
with
yourself,
this so much.
is something doing me?
Anytime I can go 3 days and I'm unable to create, and creating across board, like either painting, teaching, or just sharing knowledge.
Yes.
It feels like
You
something is dying inside me.
Yeah, am I here?
Am I here?
Am I here? Or you know how
Watching this video all over again now, all I can take away from this conversation with Uncle Duke is the fact that it is upon every artist to take care of their creative spirit. It is upon you to create without boundary and conformity, because at the end of the day, creating is the one sure way to your happiness and potentially financial success. And if you don't listen to your spirit, to that creative soul, you can't create the kind of heart that moves people, because ultimately those are the kind of hearts that outlive you. And if you can't do that, then your pockets would always be affected.
nobody's buying art anymore? Not me and you, I think. I don't even see that in the same space
Yeah,
with
when
you.
people drop comments on my page, they'll be like, "Oh, Nigerians don't appreciate art. They don't even give it." I'm just like,
Who
"What
is
are you
this
talking
one?
about?"
Kilos, what I'm talking about.
Who are not the people that are
No,
appreciating
who
their
are the
art?
Nigerians you know?
Who are-
The ones that are in your corner. You are all dealing with you're dealing with your energy.
So there's the place of actually aspiring positively and actually looking at things with so much optimism.
You must be with the people who are being. You have to have your kind of people. That's a better word for it. Have people who have your level of energy or have a bit higher energy than you have. You can't be going at people who have lower energy. It doesn't make any sense.
And I think a lot of artists do this. You stay within the confine of the same classmate, the same set of people.
No.
All of you are still starving. We are still wanting.
No.
And you are not stepping out of your comfort to learn, to evolve, to change.
I say to you usually as I'm doing this stuff now, I'm still in the preliminary play part. It's preliminary. I'm talking with you. I'm looking at the work. I'm looking at it. Because if it's finished and I sign Asidere, I know what figures I'll be looking for in my head. If it's finished and it's framed, and I go and put maybe nearly 600 frame on it, then you now come and asking me question of, in my head I'm like, are you where we are going? So you must break, it's in your hand to break the jinx. It's in your hand to tell yourself, when they say it can't be done, you are say, Taloso. No, who said it? Where did they write it? And then you have to say, oh, nobody's going to buy it. I'm like, excuse me, they've not seen it. They're not going to buy it. They have not seen it. They have not. So, and I remember periods when one time I didn't have enough pigment. I had probably just green and yellow. And I said, no, nobody can say, nobody can give those rules. I said recently, I've been looking at a few things Ayola has been doing. And it just enters your head. That is what it should be. You can't sit down somewhere and say you have done. No, nobody's done anything. So it's all of us learning. I'm nothing like, oh, because I'm 30 years older than that artist. So what? So really what? What's your problem? So the artist must be open, must be young enough to accept fresh challenges, young enough to accept fresh directions. You can't sit up and say, oh no, it has never been done. So because I've never done, we should not do it. I remember years ago too, maybe like some 30 years ago, but 30 years ago, I did some live paintings. I said, they don't go buy live painting. Who said they don't go buy? We did live painting as schoolwork. Who says we cannot do live painting for kids to see?
Right.
Who said so?
Right. Like,
A
yo,
lot of artists see drawing
we did live paintings, drawing, perfect, imperfect. We did it in class.
in class for grades. Who now says we cannot live on drawings? Who?
It's like we just have this mental restriction that
He just
inexistent.
put caps on you. Caps on you. You can't do this. You can't. I'm like, who is the principal? Who is enforcing the rule? Who is that gatekeeper? So I tell people, you can say no to anybody. Yes, maybe you may not open all the doors. Don't let anybody switch off your lights. It's you who is the core owner of that light. Don't let anybody tell you it's not possible. Don't let. If you ask me, I don't listen to any negative person. No, I don't. Policy. What is that telling me? I just look at you.
I swear.
And it's not my job to advise you. I didn't come to train you. If your pudding train you at home, it's okay. It didn't make any
The
sense.
audacity to think
Yes,
that.
to think that you are now the second Igbakeji of the Almighty God. How? What's up with you?
People will whine you, but
Yeah.
don't agree.
No, I don't agree. Yeah, because you know, it's for me, it's just a strange energy. Independence is the core part of practice.
Of spiritual practice.
Spiritual practice, artistic practice, independence. You know, when I look at the perforations Victor Ikamano does on his work, some people say, "Well, it's not completely new." I'm like, excuse me. For me, I didn't see the one he did in Oshobo. This is the one I've seen. And to see those large mass of drawings, it's interesting for me. So I'm not going to judge anybody's work or anybody's temperament because of your shortcomings. Because your parents could have trained you difficultly in very difficult terms.
Yeah, I've grown up in a different sense.
Yes.
It's so many nonsense.
You didn't drink peak milk until you were 42. You know I'm a beer now. So, you know I'm a beer. Yeah. So every now and again, you literally have to tell yourself, I'm not that person. I'm not that person. And because you know you are not that person, then you also know you're not in competition with anybody. And once you're not in competition, your life is freer.
Absolutely.
Your life is freer.
Absolutely.
Because you're not going to sell everything. Yeah, so why not just create everything you can? Create. You're not going to. No, there's not one artist. No, if I sell maybe a tenth of the work I've created, I'm going to live in the moon. Honest. Honest. Because if you have 300 million naira in your account, what are you going to buy now? You buy a new car. No, now. You just say, this moon they are going, nothing law. How much are these go? Let me just go at it. So funding just opens your experiences up. A lot more fun will open more experiences. It's easy to get discouraged if you can't sort out the basic bills that you need to sort out. You can't buy your materials. You'll be discouraged.
You heard it from the man himself. I'm just happy I'm able to have this conversation with him. I don't know if I'll be able to still have another session with him in the nearest future, but it was such a raw moment because I was actually looking to take a break from the studio for a year, and he just practically indulged me.
I was thinking I could take a break. I'm thinking of taking a 1 year break from the studio.
You are conversing, you are painting.
I have 2 persons who have chosen to do it this year already. Yes, 1 whole year of work.
It will be so interesting to see, though.
No, you just spend time drawing.
Drawing. Yeah, still working.
No, that's not work. You can't call it drawing work.
drawing is something like stepping aside. What do you call it? It's like decamping from PDP to APC.
Can't wait to share the next episode of Mr. Waduud Cut and Uncut with you guys. Do anything to show me that you've watched this. See you on the next episode if you're still here. Bye for now.